So it's been about a year since I let Genshin Impact start to rob me, and the good old people over at MiHoYo are showing no sign of stopping. Now, since the upcoming 2.2 patch is including nothing but rerun banners, I decided now is as good a time as any to do an annual account review and see what type of progress I've made over the past year as a light to moderate spender in Genshin Impact. So for about the past year now, I've been buying the Welkin Moon and the Battle Pass, and have had very few instances where I've actually whaled. The only two times I've actually whaled so far were both on weapon banners, and we all know the weapon banner is a scam, and yes, I can confirm that. Weapon banner has taken far more from me than any other banner in Genshin Impact. You know, I like to tell myself that spending money on the game helps me make content for it, which is true to some extent, but at the end of the day, I still feel like I just get all of these characters and all of these weapons, and just because of how the game works, I'm not even able to use half of it just because I can't level it up enough, and the amount of time it takes to get artifacts and ascension materials to make something useful is kind of absurd, especially since I am what I would call a light spender. I don't use primo gems to refill my resin. But at the same time, I can't really complain. I've gotten everything I've wanted in the game so far. Yeah, I mean, man, it's really crazy. MiHoYo is robbing me worse than all the people who haven't hit the subscribe button on my channel yet. It's kind of ridiculous. Hit the subscribe button. Please. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out what my account has got going on after a whole year. Right, so I figured we start off by looking at which out of the characters that I do in fact have. And as you can see here, I have every single character except for Diluc, Klee, Zhongli, Albedo, Zhao, Kazuha, Yoimiya, and Kokomi. Now, like I've said, I'm not a whale, and also I wasn't really super lucky either. Over the past year, I have lost quite a few of the 50-50s, not all of them, but a handful. So one thing I could almost say for certain is that between the Welkin Moon and the Battle Pass, I almost always had enough Primo Gems to hit the 50-50 at least once on the banner that I planned on rolling for. Now, there were a few instances where I did actually end up whaling quite a little bit, but there was always weapons involved, and we'll get into that later. But usually when it came to just the character banners, the Welkin Moon and Battle Pass typically provided enough Primo Gems for me to get the characters that I did want. But obviously, I never had enough to roll the pity on every single banner, so I've pretty much always managed to get the characters that I actually want, because I do plan for them, which is why I always find it funny when I see people on the internet saying, "Oh, I was trying to build pity for X character, but ended up getting this character instead, so now I can't get the character I really want." Well, guess what? Here's a quick tip for you. If the character that you want isn't on the banner, don't roll on the banner. It's simple as that. It's funny that I even have to say that. I guess some people just can't resist the urge to roll, huh? Anyways, let's go ahead and check out our constellations next. Alright, so in no specific order, we'll start with Keqing. As you can see, I unfortunately have C1. She was one of the people who I did lose the 50-50 to. First copy came from Standard Banner, which was pretty lucky. Second copy, I got spooked during my Raiden Shogun rolls. But you know, a 5-star constellation is a 5-star constellation. Not too much to really complain about there. Right, Kujo Sara, we got C2. I did quite a few rolls on the Raiden Shogun banner. Was hoping to get more constellations for her, but unfortunately that did not happen, clearly. Moving on to Jean. Jean, not really leveled at all yet, unfortunately. She's another one of the characters that I got spooked by, losing a 50-50 to. Definitely do plan on using her, but grinding out usable artifact sets for all of my characters, you know, isn't the easiest thing to do, especially as a low spender. Right, next, the Raiden Shogun, also C0. And just to get this out of the way, pretty much all of my 5 stars are C0. I almost always go for just one copy when it comes to the 5 stars, because I simply just know I won't have enough to get any more between banners. So Ganyu, C0, Eula, C0, Ayaka, C0, Hu Tao, C0, might try to snag another one on her upcoming rerun though, and Diona, C6. She happened to be on a few of the banners that I was rolling on, quite a few of them, and between those and the free copy we got for her at one point, I was able to get C6. Diona is an amazing C6 unit. C6 gives 200 elemental mastery when you're in the circle. Top tier for those nuke team comps. And I use her all the time, so I'm actually really glad to have gotten this many copies of her. Venti, C0, my first 5-star ever. First 10 pull ever as well. Very lucky on that one. Traveler, we don't need to talk about the Traveler. Mona, C0. Child, C0. Ningguang, C6. Ningguang, you'll find if you've played the game long enough, especially as a low spender, it's actually not difficult to get C6 4-star units. Ningguang has been on Raid Up across several banners, and across those several banners, she's been on a few of them that I've rolled on. She's also another person who I think we get a free copy of, or we have gotten a free copy of at one point. I could be wrong. So yeah, just another one of those characters who has happened to be on Raid Up on a majority of the banners I've rolled on. Alright, Bennett, C2. Xianling, also C6. Again, one of those units who literally seems like they're on every other banner. Next, we got Rosaria, C2. Fischl, C3. Xinyan, C4. Chongyun, C6. Again, he's been on a lot of the banners that I've rolled on as well. Sucrose, C6. Man, I cannot tell you how many copies of Sucrose that I got while I was rolling for Raiden Shogun. It was kind of blowing my mind. Jingshou, C6 as well. I believe he's on like the Hu Tao banner and one other banner, I think, that I rolled a lot on. Chi-Chi, C0. Barbara, who is surprisingly not C6 yet. Noelle, C5, getting pretty close with her as well. Kaya, C0. Amber, C0. Beidou, C6. Another unit that we've gotten a free copy of. Razor, C3. Lisa, C0. Sayu, C0. And Yanfei, C1. Alright, now we'll go ahead and take a look at each weapon type and see what weapons I have. Now, I did primarily only roll character banners. There were 2 exceptions, those exceptions being Staffahoma, actually 3 exceptions. Staffahoma, Miss Splitter Reforged, and Engulfing Lightning. Those are the 3 5-star weapon banners that I have rolled on. So a lot of these high refinement 4 stars are going to be a result of me rolling those banners as well. Unfortunately, 2 of those weapon banners were in fact weapon banners that I had to wail on. So take some of these refinements that you'll be seeing with a grain of salt, because they are a result of me wailing, unfortunately. So not so much light spender territory for some of these weapons, but nevertheless, we'll go through them all. We got Black Cliff, Prototype Crescent. I personally think the Prototype Crescent is the best forgeable 4-star bow that you can get in the game at max refinement, especially when it comes to characters like Ganyu. You can definitely make an argument for the other craftable bows for certain characters. I personally chose this one to refinement 5, obviously, because I have Ganyu, and it works amazing on her. It does damage equivalent to, I would say, a refinement 1 5-star bow does. So definitely a top tier bow if you can max refine it. Even if you can't max refine it, it's still a great bow. We got Stringless. I see another copy of that down here. Stringless is one of the bows I would love to have more of. Yep, we got Favoni's War Bow, R5 Sacrificial Bow, one of my favorite bows to use on characters like Diona and Venti, because it gives you that skill refresh, especially at refinement 5, 80% chance. As you can see, it was clearly on one of the banners I had to wail on, because I have like a bajillion copies of it. RIP. R5 Windbloom. Oh, this was from an event. If you didn't get it, you're not really missing out on too much. I haven't personally used it a lot yet. I'm sure it's okay on some characters though. Got the Battle Pass bow, still have not used that at all yet, clearly, and Rust, which I recently got. This is an amazing bow to have. If you have this, don't accidentally delete it. Make sure you hang on to this one. It's great on characters like Child, especially, or really just any bow user, simply because it, as you can see, it increases your normal attack damage by a whopping 40% at Refinement 1. 40% is nothing to laugh at. So that's about it for the bows. Let's go ahead and look at the claymores. Oh, wow, look at that. We're seeing some gold here. Wolf's Gravestone, I got this actually rolling on the permanent banner. That was definitely a happy day. But what was not a happy day was rolling on the Engulfing Lightning banner, I believe this was. Yeah, I wailed on that banner and ended up getting 2 copies of the Unforged. Honestly, the Unforged has basically identical traits to the Wolf's Gravestone, except it just has, you know, different ways to trigger the skill. But nevertheless, a 5 star is a 5 star. I'll definitely take it, even though I did pay for it, and it's not what I was hoping to get when I paid for it. Yeah, had to actually use the epitomized path on this banner. Not a fun time. Skyward Pride, I got spooked with this while I was rolling for Staff of Homa. I remember that very well. Also, this was before they had the pity system, so rolling for weapons was very stressful. Got Prototype Greatsword, that's one of the craftable weapons. This is Fish Claymore, amazing, excellent, love the design. Unfortunately, it's not as amazing as its description would lead you to believe it is. It does not, in fact, summon a Titanic tuna. In fact, I don't even know if it summons anything at all because I haven't even seen the thing that it supposedly summons when I was using it. But yeah, you can get this from the current event that is going on right now as of the making of this video. R5 Sacrificial Greatsword. I'm not sure if I got 5 copies of this because it was on Raid Up or if I just got spooked by it enough times. This, I believe, is the Dragon Spine craftable Claymore. That's a banner weapon, R2 with a blade. I don't remember where this came from. Probably got this on a banner as well. And a shit ton of Bell copies. Yeah. Amazing. Still not sure if I'm ever going to use this weapon. Alright, that is about it for my claymores. Let's go ahead and look at the catalysts. So yeah, nothing too special here. We got Dodo Coattails. This was event weapon. So yeah, that was free 4 star from one of the Klee events. I forget what it's called. Yeah. So Sacrificial Fragments. We got Refinement 4. Yeah, I would say most of the catalysts came from rolling character banner and getting spooked on character banner. I know Widsith R5, this was on one of the weapon banners that I rolled on. The Widsith is an amazing weapon. Probably one of the best, if not the best, 4-star catalyst in the game, alongside the Solar Pearl, which I currently am planning on getting to Refinement 5. This is the Battle Pass weapon. The Battle Pass does have great weapons. Another one of the reasons why I get that, because I typically try to stay away from rolling the weapon banners, and having something like the Solar Pearl as an option when I do get the Battle Pass is really nice, because this is going to be a great weapon, especially at Refinement 5. It'll work great on characters like Ningguang especially. So yeah, lots of Widsiths, lots of a few Eye of Perceptions, and a Favonius Codex, and that is about all for the catalysts. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pole arms, another juicy weapon category for me, I guess. Only 2 5 stars, but yeah, we got Engulfing Lightning. Like I said, this is one of the weapon banners I did have to wail on. It was not fun. I had to use the entire epitomized path. So if you want to look at this video from a purely low spender perspective, just pretend that this weapon isn't there, because this does not fall under my low spending category at all. Same thing for the Staff of Homa, honestly. Yeah, I did end up wailing to get this weapon. Yeah, Staff of Homa, another great weapon. The rerun will probably be coming up for this when Hu Tao reruns as well. So yeah, save your Primo Gems if you want this. This weapon is top tier for Hu Tao. It's the best in slot weapon you could possibly get for her. Or if you don't want that, you can use the catch on her. The catch is a great alternative to something like the Staff of Homa if you know, just don't want to risk the Primo Gems on the weapon banner. The catch, amazing free-to-play weapon. You get this one from fishing, and you can get it all the way to Refinement 5, and as you can see, increases elemental burst damage by 32% and crit rate for your elemental burst by 12%. Really, really good. Really good for a free-to-play weapon. We got R2 Crescent Pike. Yeah, I remember my early days playing this game. I refined this. This is one of the craftable 4-star pole arms. I refined this and I wanted to build my Xianling as DPS. This was like just when I was starting the game, but yeah, good times. We got Deathmatch. This is from the Battle Pass. Only got one copy of that so far. R3, Favonius Lance, Dragonspine Spear. As the name suggests, this is the Dragonspine craftable pole arm. I think you're actually required to make this as one of the quests. Yeah, R5 Lithic Spear. This was clearly on one of the weapon banners that I wailed on. And an R3 Dragon's Bane. That's pretty much it for the pole arms. Last but not least, let's take a look at my one-handed swords. Now, the Mist Splitter, this is the only weapon banner that I've gotten lucky on and won the 50-50 my first time, so this didn't actually have to wail for. Amazing, I know. Imagine not getting scammed by the weapon banner. Couldn't be me. Well, I guess in this case it was me. This is the Battle Pass sword. I've got Refinement 2 of the Black Sword. When the game first came out, I was planning to R5 this if I continued to buy the Battle Pass, which I have continued to buy the Battle Pass. I quickly realized I was just not using that many one-handed sword characters, so yeah, I stopped. Got R5 Festering Desire. This, I believe, is also Is an event weapon? I can't remember if this is an event weapon. I think it's event exclusive weapon. This is a pretty pretty solid sword. As you can see, it actually has like the same exact weapon skill as the catch does, except for the elemental skill instead of the burst. R5 Lion's Roar. This I got to R5 I think before I wailed on any weapon banner. I don't know what it is with this weapon, but I seem to just have gotten it a lot. The R1 Sack Sword, Favonius Sword, Prototype Rancor, the craftable 4-star sword, and the flute. So yeah, that's about it for all of the weapons. Now, when it comes to things like my artifacts, here's where you can really tell that I'm not a whale. After a whole year of playing this game nearly every day, I only have about 7 like really good artifact sets, like 7 fully built artifact sets that don't really need any tweaking at all. And yeah, I'm sure I do have a few artifacts floating around in my stash that have the potential to be good. I just haven't had the resources or the willpower to invest in those potentially good artifacts because it very rarely works out. As I'm sure you all are well aware, the artifact grind in this game is probably the worst part about the game. As far as the artifacts go, even as a low spender, it's still rough out there. It is still rough out there. Same thing for talents as well. I do have a pretty solid stash of talent books, but very rarely have I ever maxed out all 3 skills on any given character, at least not yet. I might have the mats to do it for some of them now. In fact, no, I definitely have the mats to do it for a lot of them. But it's another one of those things where I just have all these characters and I'm not necessarily using all of them, and as a result, I don't really have a reason to level their skills. So yeah, I would say that about sums it all up. I mean, for being a low to mid spender, I'd say I'm pretty satisfied with everything I've gotten out of the game so far. Can't really say whether or not I'm satisfied that I'm just letting MiHoYo take my money or not yet. Especially with the current state of the game. I'm a little concerned about where this game is going right now. But I do still have some pretty high hopes for the future, and I think in the end, hopefully, MiHoYo will get their shit together and deliver some amazing endgame content and just start communicating with the community better overall.